Thanks, son. I know everyone's excited that I'm speaking today because you know you're getting out early, right? I have a video I want you all to see, and the reason why I picked this video of all videos is because my boys picked it out. And they showed it to me a long time ago, and they said, "Mom, this is so you." So I'm being a little bit vulnerable. You're going to see a little bit about how I am as a mom, all right?
So I see you have a couple 89s. How are we getting that up? What are we doing?
You know, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you that your throat hurts. It's because you're on that phone so much.
How do I send an email attachment?
Hey, sweetie. It's time to go. Okay, breakfast will be... Okay, I saw Hoda on the Today Show doing this new dance. I want you to teach me.
I'm emailing your teacher right now. We're gonna figure it out.
How many cups do you guys need? This is ridiculous. Stop using all these cups. Do you hear me? You're still not up. I told you to get up 10 minutes. There goes that. Get dressed. Come on.
Do every extra credit assignment there has ever been in the history of mankind. Do you hear?
Instagram? You really don't know where it is. Did you try? There it is. Your father can't find anything. It's horrible. Hey! How are you? How's the family? Is it good? Yeah, things are good? Not now, kids. I hardly slept. Your father snores like a wood chipper. Sounds like Sasquatch. A cat choking on a spoon. Sounds like a chihuahua got caught in the garbage disposal. I said get up! No, now I'm... Go ask your father. Oh, so our bathroom's SeaWorld now. You guys jumping around. Like, how's there this much water outside of the tub? That's awesome, yeah. I need to see you around more. Yeah! Text me right when you get there. This thing, you kids are... Hey, Siri? You kids have really lost... Oh my... I need a Roomba.
How do I send a GIF?
Oh, get right there. I'll get a picture of you. Handsome. Here. Sweetie, grab mommy one of her chocolates. Hurry. What's a voicemail?
No, my email's fine. I'm not switching to Outlook. I'm not gonna be able to figure that out. Outlook at what? Yahoo will be fine.
Oh, good morning. Or should I say afternoon? Yeah, somebody slept well. Young man, here's a letter for you. I was just seeing what was in there. Young man, I got you a couple new shirts. You needed them. Try them on. Try them on, okay? If you don't like them, I'll take them back to TJ Maxx. Son, you know I can't go to sleep till I know you're home. I'm gonna be up till 4 a.m. thanks to you. Mommy needs a bath, okay? So just fend for yourselves for a while. I'm not your maid, okay? Let's start carrying our weight around here. Thank you. Look who finally decided to join us. Put your coat on. Yes. And take... You never know. Take it. Inside voices, please. Do you see what your son is doing? Are you watching? Young man... I swear, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Pool party. Yeah, you had a good time? You think you'd do it again? Who all was there? Name each one of them individually. Were the girls wearing a... They were? Good. Did you put on... Was Sheila's mom there? How was it to talk to her? Why didn't you talk to her? How was the food? Snacks? What were the snacks? What all did you guys do after? Did you jump off? Were you safe? At least 8 feet? Did you... Hey! Look... Snoring sounds like a chihuahua got caught in the garbage disposal.
Please tell me that there are some of you moms out there who have said or reacted or done some of those things. All right, for our moms, I have a couple things to read. These are some how-tos. How to ruin your toddler's life. Number 1, pour him 1/8 of an inch less milk than his brother in a see-through cup. How to ruin your teenager's life. Number 1, breathe. Number 2, don't buy her a car even though she really wants one but forgot to save any of her money like you told her to for 4 years. Number 3, I love this, Brock, especially for you. Say no to senior skip day, even when he has proof, and even when that proof is a screenshot of an iPhone note typed up and shared by someone named Hottie XOXO, with instructions to spread the word on the low. Your teen cannot understand your problem with Hottie XOXO. You are the most paranoid mom ever. Number 4, keep breathing. This assaults the teen psyche more than you might imagine. Number 5, give advice on a problem the teen is having. Realize you know nothing, understand nothing, have nothing to offer, have no experience, no clue, and no chill. You're just an old lady who makes dinner. And number 6, smile anyway and toast the hubs for making it this far and dream about all the places you'll go when the nest is empty. And one of my favorites, because I am sure that at one time or another I have tried this, it's how to have family devotions at dinner. I don't know if I've tried it at dinner, but I'm sure we've tried it in the evening. So number 1, emotionally invest in high hopes. This is key. Envision a sacred family moment. Prepare to feel sentimental. Crushed expectations are an important part of this. Number 2, at the onset of dinner, immediately break up several sibling fights while your husband plays Candy Crush. Number 3, with thinning patience, begin carefully selected family devotion. Get interrupted several times because there's not enough ketchup. Where's more bread? Does this have onions in it? Can I have orange juice instead of water? His elbow keeps touching me. No offense, but this is kind of boring. Number 4, field questions about a sleepover Friday, an ortho appointment, armpit hair, and a new data plan. Number 5, take deep breaths. Act like you're teaching Sunday school. You are so interesting. You aren't having rage issues while talking about Moses. Number 6, imagine that your family is totally into this. They're not, but imagine it. And number 7, finally, lose your crap like a raging maniac. Slam the devotional book on the dinner table, scream, forget it, just hate God then. While the family stares at you like you're a crazy person because you actually are. And number 8, watch husband roll eyes, pour you some Pinot Grigio, and eat your cold dinner in shame. Oh my goodness, all right. So our new series is called Family Matters. And Jeff, I know, will be talking about matters of the church and how it relates to all of us as we are a part of this family. When we had started talking about this series, it was thought that maybe I would speak on Mother's Day about the giving aspect of the family and what it has to do with the church and how we can give, because a mom gives so much, right? But looking back on Mother's Days when I've spoken, I've usually have been able to speak about things that I have been going through at that time. I remember this was years ago, talking about comparison. And I don't know if anyone was here, but I had a bunch of my African dresses here, and I talked about comparison. Another time I talked about Esther, and for such a time as this. I spoke about Moses and touching the basket, and last year, because of a tough time that I was going through, I talked about the importance of relationship and how we need each other in our lives. So this year, I'm going to save giving for another Sunday, hon. And what I would really like to title my message today, but I'm not, but this is what I would call it, is moms, their sons, their girlfriends, and a husband who isn't fazed by any of it. That would be my title. However, I feel like I am still in this struggle. I have no answers. I do not have some 3-point message for you. I can tell you I have probably failed more than I have succeeded. And sometimes I wish I could go back and do things differently. So thinking about motherhood, and for me, and for my boys, I do want to share just a few things from my heart that I'm in the process of learning and doing myself. And I have to admit right off the bat that I had 2 resources for a lot of what I'm going to say, because remember I said I'm learning and I'm going through this. So I had nothing myself to say, so I had to go to some resources to try to help me out. In thinking of letting go of your kids, I think it's one of the hardest things that moms have to go through. I think one of the things that is also frustrating about it is that dads don't seem to have as hard of time as moms do. And so it can be frustrating for us as women, I think. As a result, at least in our case, I know, and this is being just open and honest with you, probably in the last 2 years, the thing that Jeff and I have argued about the most have been our boys. And about raising them. Our boys can attest to that, that it has caused many a discussion and argument around our household. And when I started to think about it, I feel like, I'm not going to take all the blame, but I feel like a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that I struggle with letting go and letting go of my boys. Letting go happens in stages. It happens really when we're probably not even thinking about it. For example, sending them their first day of school, letting them go out that door, maybe get on the bus. You have to let go a little bit then. You let go maybe when they would go and try out for that first sport. You let go when if you let your kids do them, that first sleepover. You let go when they went to that first job. You let go when they went on that first date. You let go when they went off to college, etc., etc. I think of my mom when I think of letting go, and again, some wish, like I do all the time, how I wish I could call her and ask her, Mom, how did you do this? When we were living in Africa and I was a teenager, my parents had said as missionaries that they would never send their kids to boarding school. Never. Wasn't even an option. Our family was very close. They weren't going to do that. And it just so happened about a year into our time in Africa, my mom was homeschooling us. She had ordered more books, and no books came. And so there was nothing for them to do. I mean, there's nothing. They're in the middle of the jungle in Africa. These books are not going to come. So what do? So last resort was boarding school. So my brother, who's just 17 months younger than I was in 10th grade. He would have been in 8th grade. My parents had to send us away to boarding school. And I will never, never forget leaving that airport. And at that time, we had to, from where we lived to where we went to that boarding school, it was a 3-hour flight on a 6-passenger plane. That was all that we had to go on. So I remember getting on that little plane, and my mom, of course, it's Africa. You come out on the runway. You don't wait in the airport. You're right there. And so I remember her saying goodbye to us. And as an adult right now, I think, how did she do that? She had to let go a little bit. Her kids were in 10th and 8th grade. In the boarding school that I went to, the grades went from 2nd grade to 12th grade. So can you imagine? There were 2nd graders at this school that their parents had living and going to school at this boarding school. And it was kind of like a college schedule. We didn't see them again for another couple of months. But when I think of letting go, I think of my mom and how much she had to let go of us. And never mind it being in the middle of Africa and to send your kids away like that. Letting go for parents can cause anxiety. It can create feelings of loss. And there's even probably a time of grieving that has to happen. At each event that we are letting go, we are allowing them to take that step of becoming a freestanding human. Mind you, I didn't say adult. No, I'm just kidding. But we are allowing them to become a freestanding human. The teenager years are probably the most difficult stage, as we see the control that we thought we had, or my husband always says is such an illusion, the control we think we have on our kids. It becomes less and less, so that they need and they want to make their own decisions, and they move away from their dependence on you. I think this is especially hard, again, for moms, because we have given so much And for so long, we have just given and given to these kids. And then all of a sudden, they don't need us as much. They don't maybe want to be around us as much. And their letting go of us sometimes happens so fast and so overnight. It feels almost like, as moms, that we're loved a little less, respected a little less, or not so much appreciated anymore. And it's hard. Sometimes it's our fault that letting go is hard as a parent. Sometimes we overparent, and this makes it hard to let go. And we've seen this in parents before. Sometimes the emotional struggle can be due to their own dependency on the child. In a study with parents, parents admitted that their love bond with their child affected their ability to separate from that child, causing emotional conflicts and disruptions. Some examples of these was delay in using a sitter for a child, maybe delay putting them in the church nursery, a frequent need to reconnect or check on the child when they're in daycare or when they're in college. Maybe being able to really socialize or vacation for an extended time, maybe without the kids. Delayed weaning of the child from your bed to his. Letting go can lead to feelings of guilt, a conflict between loyalties and internal struggles to make sacrifices, which can be very overwhelming to us as parents. Let's face it, though, there is no other love that compares to the love a mom or dad has for a child. And a parent does everything, and listen to this, kids, a parent does everything out of pure love for their child. And with that comes the desire to care and for protect. So how do we do this right? So our kids come out, so that we come out amazingly well. Well, I think every parent and every child is different, so I'm not sure that there's really a good set of this is how you do it, this is how you don't do it. But I did find some tips, and I hope to learn from these tips. And if you are going through that, the same thing I am, or you are going to be, I hope that these will help you as well. Number one, set boundaries for yourself. Practice giving your child space to grow. This can happen at a young age. And I hope that it's maybe not even too late for me to start. Give your child a chance to master tasks alone and let them learn from their mistakes. That's hard for us as parents, isn't it? Letting your kids maybe make not such a great decision, and then they have to learn from their mistakes and sometimes go through a very difficult time. Trust that the values that you've instilled in them will inform their decisions. Acknowledge that you have done your best as a parent and that the hands-on phase of parenting does have to come to an end. Treat the letting go process as a transitional loss, and you will grieve accordingly, but just don't stay in that grief. And as your child matures and grows, rebuild a new relationship so that it is less about dependency and more about mutual respect, admiration, and a celebration of a budding, capable young adult. There's a poem that I want to read to you that kind of sums this up in the struggle between parent and child, and it's called "For My Child." I make my plans for you from birth, carefully carving out your worth. So wrapped up in who you'll be, I neglect your individuality. I want to protect you all your life, keep you safe from danger and strife. Temptation and pressure attack you all day. How, as a parent, can I keep it away? I pray that you'll receive God's grace. And when you need to slow your pace, will my guidance be enough? To guard and keep you from all that stuff, my goal in life is to see you succeed. What's the best way to plant that seed? I'll give you the room to make a mistake. I'll trust you with each step you take. I'll tell you I love you when you make a mess. I'll tell you no when I want to say yes. And I'll give you the space to set your tune, adjust my expectations as you create your own. I am thankful that I do not have to do this thing alone. Yes, I do have my God on my side, and I will talk about that later. I do have a husband who assists me in this task every day. I also have my bonus moms. As the author of a book I read, Jen Hatmaker, she calls them bonus moms. Let me explain to you who these bonus moms are. They're the ladies who just help us with our kids, encourage us along the way, encourage our kids. Sometimes they may be a lady who had no kids herself, but she's there. She's there to speak life into me as a mom. She's there to encourage my kids. She's there to pray for me when I need it. I think of Jeff's aunt, his Aunt Toots. She never married, never had kids, and yes, she was family, but sometimes she did for our boys what we couldn't do. And she would take them and spend time with them and do things with them, and I am just so thankful for that. She did the same thing with Jeff when he was a boy. Would buy them clothes and all kinds of things. So there are, it's a special thing about a woman who has a mother's heart. Maybe she wasn't able to have her kids herself, but she does have that mother's heart, and she's willing to share it with the rest of us. I think of the moms that I connected with when my boys were younger, moms like Gretchen, Kathy, and Heidi. When my boys were with them. I trusted these ladies and their home to be safe for my boys and vice versa. I think of Pete and Connie. We have left our boys many a time with Pete and Connie. I remember probably 10 minutes after we left their house, maybe longer, we get a call. I think they're either on their way to the ER or they're at the ER with Brock, who had cut his finger. So, but what a joy to have Uncle Pete and Aunt Connie in our boys' life. They are their bonus parents. And I feel so at ease and know that when my boys are at their house, I don't have to worry at all. She's my bonus mom. I think of Gretchen's son, Rocco. We sometimes refer to him as our third son. Sometimes he shows up at our house at 11 p.m. at night to stay. I hope and come to think about it, a lot of the guys that come to our house come around 10 or 11 at night and just show up. That's all right. I hope I've been good bonus moms, a bonus mom to all these guys who come to our house. I also look ahead and seek out the bonus moms who have already been going through and have gone through what I have gone through. I don't see her today, but I was thinking of Lynn Hartman today. I've seen some of her posts on Facebook with her and her boys, and she lost her husband, and she has raised those boys. I just admire her, and I want to learn from her. I want to sit down with her and I want to say, Lynn, because I know with a couple of them, they're through this stage, but she still has younger ones as well that she's getting through this. So I want to sit down with her. Lynn, how did you do this? Give me some advice. I need all I can get. Last Sunday, I had the opportunity to share with Yvonne and Stephanie some of the things that I've been struggling with. And Stephanie encouraged me with her experiences and her struggles with her sons. I love how when we were talking about boys, but we were talking about dating, we were talking about the girlfriends, all those things that come into play. And Stephanie gave me a new perspective on things. And I so appreciated the advice that she gave me. Tracy, I don't know if she's here today, but she is my other bonus mom. Her and I usually tend to talk about our marriages and can be very honest and upfront with each other, but lately it has also been about our boys and our kids. And I can let it all out with her, and she is gracious to listen. She gives advice and says a lot of times, I know, and I'm right there with you. Ladies, it always goes back to the elephant thing. We need each other. We need to encourage each other. We have single moms in this church, moms who either their husband has passed away or their husband has left. We need to rally around these moms. We need to encourage them to be there for them. As moms, wives, as women, we have to be the herd that surrounds, encourages, loves, and prays for each other. Last Sunday, you all know I took part in the marathon. I had a small part. Mine was only 6.4 miles, but I was just so excited to be a part of it. Very nervous all at the same time. I don't know if you even shared on Sunday, but I texted Jeff before church starts, and I was going to my spot where I was going to meet up with Maria, and all of a sudden I just started to get so nervous. And I had our dogs had taken me out in a parking lot a couple of weeks before, and I had hurt myself. That was all fine until Sunday morning when I'm walking to my spot to meet Maria. All of a sudden it started hurting. So I text Jeff, can you please pray for me? I said, I'm so nervous and my groin is starting to hurt and I just don't know if I can do this. And so of course he did, and he sent me this very encouraging text. And so I got all ready. I had my phone, my earphones, I'm all set to go, and Maria finds me, I find her, and I take off. And my first part was from Station Square all the way down Carson Street, and then over the bridge up through Oakland, all that. So I had planned on wearing my earphones, but you know what? I didn't put them in my ear one single time. Do you know why? Because of the people along the streets. They were cheering. I felt like they were cheering me on. I'm sure it was more for the actual marathon runners. But they were cheering me on. They had water for me when I needed water. They had an orange for me when I needed an orange. But I listened to that the whole 6 miles. There were kids on the street. I went by. I slapped their hand. They gave me a high five. What that did for me and how it made me, I kept going all the way. And so it just excited me. And I think that's what we need to be like with women, encouraging us on. And let us not forget that we do have a God who's there with us every step of the way. He loves us. He loves our family. He is restoring all things. He is paying attention to us. He is on the move. There is nothing too broken that God cannot redeem. When we feel crushed, He is as close to us as our own skin. I chose the 3 songs this morning because they had a message for me personally in each song. Counting Every Blessing, if you notice in it, it said letting go and trusting, letting go and trusting God. In His love, I don't have to fear. Parenthood can be a very scary thing, but when I stand in God's love, I do not have to fear. He will get me through this. And when I feel like I'm losing, when I feel like I have failed, He is my defender, and He keeps me going. Jesus described the kingdom as a seed or yeast to make bread. We can kind of relate this to parenthood a little bit. The seed is planted, the yeast is mixed in, but we don't see anything happening. A lot of our time in our kids' lives and what we do for them has delayed gratification. We're always wondering, did it work? Did it take? Will it produce good? For a long time, all we see is the soil, or all we see is the dough just sitting there, not changing at all. We know we did all that we thought was right. We did the work, we said the words, but then we just have to wait. Family is more resilient than we think. It is messy, especially during the building years. Sowing seeds of love to our children will one day bear fruit. Our job is to plant, 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 and wait. Some of you are just planting. I look at Danielle and her 2 little girls, and some of you are just planting, just starting out. Others of you are watering. Colleen and Reuben and Aaron and Vaughn, you're watering. Some have seen Some have actually seen the green start to come up. Maybe Michelle, maybe that's you. You've started to see the green. And then some of you have seen the trees and fresh loaves of bread already. Maybe Carl, Maria, that's you. You've seen your kids grow up, what they are like. Moms, today I just want to encourage you. The kids are fine. We are fine. The definition of a great mom is not a mom who drops all to cater to her children, or that every waking minute should be about her children. Moms, if we are winning 80% of the votes, if the majority involves laughter and nurture, attention and grace, presence and patience, then we are winning. We may get some losses here or there due to maybe being overly protective, taking away the phone, keeping the car for a week. But winning comes by continuing through each season, conversation after conversation, over months of sweat and blood and probably tears. We can probably take a handful of things quite seriously as parents and take the rest less seriously, and it's all going to be okay. Moms, I just want to encourage you that you are doing a great job. I may not even know you, but I'm encouraging you today. You are doing a great job. Your children know that they are loved. If we get 7 out of 10 things mostly right as moms, we win the majority, right? And that wins the race. Finally, I'm going to read you this little section from this book, which, by the way, ladies, I'm probably going to do a book club on this book because it has really blessed me. So, all right. Perhaps no parenting stage requires levity more than raising young adults. If you can, at every turn, in any circumstance possible, lighten up. This season is a blink, a tiny bitty handful of years in an entire lifetime in which our children have lost their ever-loving minds. It is a millisecond, and then it's over. And we surely don't want to damage our relationships beyond repair during these few years our kids struggle through the painful process of growing up. We can hold the line knowing fully well they will not always roll their eyes, they will not always come late or lie to our faces or sulk like it's their job. In a New York minute, they will be grown-ups, and just like we did, they will look back on these years with laughter and plenty of face palms, remembering parents who stuck by them and with them, and dare say even enjoyed them despite it all. They are going to go, moms. Let's send them off adored and believed in. So this is where I'm at. As I said in the beginning, I wish I could go back. I wish I could start over, but I can't. I can only go from here. I have 2 very incredible young men that I've had a hand in raising. And boys, if it seems like I'm on your case all the time, it's probably because I was or am. My love for you both is fierce. I know I've not always done things the best way and have maybe tried to keep you under my wing longer or harder than I should have. I so desire you to be young men who love and follow God with all your heart, that you will be men of integrity and men of great love. I look forward to watching you grow and continue in this life, and I am so proud to be your mom. I know that I need to let go more, and I will try. As I let go, I hope you know and you feel adored, believed in, that you feel treasured, and that you feel loved and know love unconditionally. Our door is always open. Our fridge will always have frozen pizzas. And our arms will be always open to your friends, even when they show up in the middle of the night. And the thing that helps me get through all of the letting goes is this. You too, no matter what you say, no matter what your girlfriends say, you will always be my boys. And I love you very much. In closing, I always like to give a gift that hopefully you can take with you, and it will remind you of things that I've said this morning. This year, I have to admit, I struggled. I waited until the last minute, and nothing was coming to mind. And then I thought of the butterfly. I thought of it as a caterpillar and how it's nestled in this safe little home where its every need is taken care of, and until one day it has to break free from that. And what does it do? It spreads its wings and it flies. So I hope the butterfly is a reminder to us all today, a reminder of our kids, a reminder to ourselves. Whatever we need to allow someone in our care or ourselves to spread our wings and to fly high, to let go of what we need to let go of and when we need to let go of it, and to entrust it all to a God who loves his children, and he sees and knows all the places that we will go and all that we will do. Thank you.
Just for the record, it's 2 minutes after 11. I'm just saying, just for the record.
Thank you.
No, a couple things, since I have some time. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what that message was about. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm a father. Forget it. No, thank you, Michelle. I so appreciate that. So appreciate your vulnerability and your honesty. And why don't you stand with me? Let's have a closing prayer. Michelle's going to be out back. She wanted to personally give a gift to each woman here today, okay? Let's pray together. Father, thank you so much. I thank you so much for Michelle. Thank you for her heart and what you're doing in her life and how she's growing and how she is continually every day learning about womanhood, learning about being a wife, learning about being a mother. She's always open to learn and to grow. Thank you so much for such a beautiful woman to be part of my life, to be part of our life. Pray for all the women here today, God, that they are made to feel special, not just here, but as they go out throughout the day, made to feel special because you've made each of them unique and special. So thank you for all of them. We pray a special blessing to be upon them today, and I hope they get a great meal from somebody today. We just thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Thanks, friends. Have a great Mother's Day.